Hi guys, welcome to Martin's Fitness. Today we're going to be looking at the reasons to or not to do bodybuilding, and as well as things you should prepare both physically and mentally in case you do think of doing it.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. And I don't wanna let myself.
Alright, so let's talk about the reasons to do bodybuilding. Okay, um, with all of these do's and don'ts, keep in mind it is both a mental and physical sport. Okay, people think that it is literally just look here, if I'm big, I'm going to be big on stage, and it really doesn't work like that. Okay, we're not even talking about the topic of using drugs or not, because that should be irrelevant when it comes to you wanting to do bodybuilding. Okay, so what some of the reasons to do it? Okay, sometimes you want to see if your genetics and your hard work show great potential within the sport. It's like any other sport. Okay, if you have great hand-eye coordination, cricket and tennis and something like that comes naturally to you. Same with bodybuilding. If your physique is able to change drastically by not only diet but exercise, you might have great genetics for the sport. So why not try it out? Okay, and then also to challenge yourself physically. The idea of pushing weight heavier and heavier, the closer you get to a show, is a great challenge. You understand what I'm saying? And then also, if you've done a show before, seeing if you can improve on that. That's also like any other sport. You've made so many runs in cricket, or you've scored so many goals in soccer. Next season, you want to try and do it again, or do better. That's the same thing with bodybuilding. You can go to your next show trying to improve on either the size that you're at, or the conditioning, or your posing. Um, and then also, sometimes people jump their entire lives and lose motivation. Okay, you go into the gym for 3, 4 years and you start questioning what's your motivator. Getting ready for a show can be a great motivator. All right, um, it can challenge you in the sense of now that you know that you have something to go towards, you want to push a bit harder. You're going to eat a bit better. You're going to train a bit harder. So those are some of the reasons why you should consider doing bodybuilding. All right, let's talk about the reasons not to do bodybuilding. All right, this sport is very superficial. All right, you need to understand that you will be judged on how you look. That's what this sport is based on. And not everyone will always be on your side or in your corner. And there are people who really just would enjoy trying to bring you down a notch. Whatever their motivations are, it has nothing to do with you. And that's also one thing you need to keep in mind as we go forward with our list right now. Okay, so one reason why you shouldn't do it is not to become a hype man or a hype woman within your social group, gym group, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Um, if things don't go how you want, because remember, you're not in control of how the judges see you, things don't go the way you want, it can have an effect on how you see yourself or your self confidence going forward within the sport or within that same social setting that you were trying to be a hype man or hype woman for. So be very careful about your justifications for doing the sport. Okay? And then another reason is not to increase the value of yourself within the eyes of others. So, in other words, if you are a gym goer and you are a sportsman, sportswoman trying to um, increase your stock with a sponsorship or something like that, something physical or material, this is not a sport to do. All right. If you pull it off, awesome, good for you. Um, I'm very sure that if you have the genetics to and all that, you can pull it off, yes. But if you don't, again, this is something that might affect your mental health, because this, again, is a mental sport as well. Training throughout the year, physically, yes, nice, we're having fun, all that. But eating 5 to 6 times a day and then dropping weight, and having self-conscious issues, because it happens, paranoia, all that. When you get down to those low body fat percentages, your mind plays tricks on you, because again, people don't tell you that the fat is what helps control the hormones within your body. So the lower the fat percentage of your body, the more volatile you become when it comes to your moods and all that kind of stuff. And you really need people to be in your corner that can help you through these things. And if you don't, and you're trying to impress people, these are the points where you might either pull out or actually hurt yourself, because you are not thinking clearly and not performing properly according to all of this. All right, so now that we've spoken about the do's and don'ts, there are some side notes, some things that people really don't tell you about getting ready for prep. Okay, now, first of all, this is a heavily financial sport. All right, eating 5 times a day of clean food is expensive. Now, do that for a prolonged period of time, it becomes even more expensive. Okay, because remember, we're not eating fast food burgers, budget cheats, and all that 3 times a day, 4 times a day. You're eating wholesome food. So your chicken, your beef, your mince, ostrich, your rice, your fish, all of that is expensive food per kilo or per pound, wherever you might be watching this. So you need to be aware of the financial strengths required for the sport. And what ties in with that is also a support system. Okay? You need people who can surround you with positivity. All right? You need a lot of positive thinking going into a show, and especially in the last few weeks when you might not like how you look, you might not like how you feel, but you need someone or a few people in your corner, including a coach, that is going to be able to tell you, walk you through, and motivate you and keep you in a good frame of mind during the hardest times of a prep. And I feel like that is drastically understated when it comes to the sport. Positivity is key. It makes one big difference when it comes to your physique and how you present yourself on stage as to how you feel about yourself. All right, so here are some free tips from my own experience to help you get started within bodybuilding. First of all, make sure you have a coach you can trust. All right, I was blessed to have a coach who really filled me in and supported me, and again gave me that positivity I needed. I was nowhere near competitive on my first show, and I mentally thought I was, which is where you need to be. But then realistically looking back, you realize really you weren't, but you're still proud of yourself going forward. And your coach needs to be able to handle you in that type of way. You know what I mean? He's not going to put too much expectations on you and not force you to do things you don't want to do. First thing. Second thing, your tan. Okay, I suggest whatever tanning is happening at the show, use that tanning. Okay, unless you can create a relationship with another brand and they can make sure you're taken care of and you like their work, do that. And then if you're going to use the canned tan, like the spray, test it out before the day of the show or the day before the show to make sure that it doesn't look a bit awkward. Because my show, I didn't have the professional tan. I had can spray, and by the time I got on the show, it was so light it looked like I had nothing on my skin when the lights hit me on the stage. So that's another tip there. And then also 3, it's not a sport where you start to try and prove that you're better than anyone because you're doing bodybuilding. you are in a privileged position to do the sport. Again, it's a financial sport. The fact that you can pay for all your food, pay for your registrations, pay for your tan, bikinis, trunks, and all that shows you're extremely blessed. Gives you no reason to think that anyone next to you on stage, next to you in backstage, or anyone on social media is beneath you because you were able to do the sport. Okay? It is not how I like the sport being portrayed for people. Okay? It should be inclusive. Because at the end of the day, you're not in control of your placing. All right? What are the judges looking for on the day? That's what controls your placing. So if you lose one, fifth, last, whatever it is, be grateful, be gracious, and also understand you're blessed in the first place to be able to afford to get onto that stage. Okay? So enjoy yourself, love what you do, and then also be positive. All right? There's nothing worse than going backstage and people are talking crap about each other. Don't be that guy. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out the description box below. Check out our Instagram, and then also remember to pack away your weights. So this is day 2 of what would be the second lockdown where the gyms are closed. And yesterday morning, prepping for the show, I went to gym. I did my cardio, fasted cardio, and after leaving, came home. I had to run some errands, and saw that someone had posted gym's closed. So I called my gym, and the government gave them a gazette or something like that that said they need to close with immediate effect or something to that, whatever it meant. And then I knew, okay, wow, this lockdown level 4 will also not allow us to have our show. And I called one of the people in charge of the show and said most likely a postponement, because as it is right now, we are meant to be back at the 11th of July, and the show would have been the, what was it, the 24th, 26th, somewhere around there. And obviously that's not enough time to properly get back into it, so I'm sure it will be postponed. And as the day goes on, you realize that you've been training for something and getting ready for something, and it just doesn't happen. And it hit me hard. And I'm sure because of it being basically 3 weeks out or whatever it was, 3 weeks out, I think, with 2 and a bit weeks out, I was starting to drop water, like less water, just lessening my water intake, because I was very watery from recovering from COVID. And it played a part in, and the fact that I didn't eat a lot, because I wanted to see my coach later in the day, so he can give me the go ahead or the no go for the show. So I ate less than I should have, and I had a breakdown, like full on, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore kind of breakdown. I was just angry, sad at the world, you know. So yeah, that's how I felt yesterday. And I ate a cheat meal, and I won't lie, it tasted good, but I was still in a bad space, like full of negativity, and it's not it's not where you wanna be. And complaining about a gym being closed and not getting on show is a privilege. You know, this is a privileged problem to have, because second to that is one stream of income for me, personal training. Also, no, doesn't happen. So, yeah, levels of crap because of a lockdown. And I just felt like this is the end of that one. This is the end of that journey. And I feel like maybe someone else out there feels exactly the same way I feel. You know, something else has happened, and you can go on this journey to the next one. Because in 2021, I want to step on stage better than I did in 2020, and that's the big goal. Um, Thank you for